Hey everyone, welcome back to Soy Trading for week 2 of my journey to 10K. Not gonna lie, this week was pretty crazy for me. I'm super excited to break down my trades that I took and share them with all you guys. So let's get started. So just to recap, I'm currently teaching myself to day trade and trying to make 10K by the end of the year. My goal here, honestly, is just to show you guys that everyone can make money from trading with just a little bit of practice. The stock market was pretty hot this week. The S&P 500 finished up almost 4% because of the positive PPI and CPI we got on Tuesday and Thursday. Those of you who don't know, the producer price and consumer price are both indexes that measure inflation. Positive reports show that inflation was down to its lowest point since 2021, meaning that next month the Fed will very likely cut interest rates, which is then good for stocks. Another big thing that happened in the market this week was Walmart releasing their earnings report. And in my experience so far, I would tell you guys that it's really important to stay up to date on what's happening in the market, because things like the CPI and the PPI reports, earnings for big companies like Walmart, these are big events that create moves in the stock market, and it's these kind of moves that will create opportunities for you when you're trading. You just need to make sure that you're up to date and you're aware of what's happening so you can anticipate what's going to happen and, be able to place some trades to make some money based on those predictions. As you guys can see, this week I was able to make almost $2,700, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. That brings my total balance to just over 13K. I'll be honest though, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Monday, I got off to a pretty rough start. So my first trade of the week was on Nvidia. I got in first thing on Monday morning, but my trade got filled late, which kind of threw off my ratio. As you can see, this is a risk to reward ratio, basically 1-to-1. Usually I try to do a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. So because of that, I actually increased my take profit a little bit further up here just to make the ratio a little bit better. And as the stock went up, I was following it with a trailing stop loss. But even though I was following my rules, I followed a little bit too close. They had a bad candle right here at about 9:40, and I got stopped out, missing all of this huge gain right here. This is 10:30 a.m. I would have made double my money. So even though I closed this trade with a profit of about $100, I'm still considering it a loss because I got in late. My trade wasn't drawn up correctly. It wasn't a good ratio, like I said, and I missed out on a huge amount of gain, literally, if I had held for another hour. So that one kind of sucked. Even though it was a win, I'm still considering it a loss for myself personally. My next trade was on IBIT. So that's IBIT is basically a Bitcoin ETF. It moves with Bitcoin. It was down from the morning about 4%, I believe it was. Way oversold on the RSI, and Bitcoin was still at 58,000. So I was like, this is definitely worth a shot. Like, it's a shot in the dark. It's a bit of a gamble, but I thought it was worth it. Like, if a stock is down 4%, like, how much further can it really go, right? And it ended up going down. Believe it or not, if you look right here, the stock actually went to 1 cent below my stop loss. 1 cent. And then from there proceeded to go up and go past my take profit. I don't know if you guys understand how frustrating that is to be off by 1 cent. If I had literally, like, if my finger had twitched, drawn my trade just a millimeter lower, I would have made huge money. It would have been like a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 trade. It was just rough. It really sucks sometimes knowing that you're right, but just your timing being off, or even something as small as drawing your trade off by 1 cent. But these things happen, that's part of trading. We live and we learn. My next two trades were on SPY, so the S&P 500, and then also on AMD. So both of them I had long positions going on. I saw that the stock market was making a move, and I thought I'd try and get into it. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, there was a report that Iran was going to send a missile to Israel or something, or a bomb, and it dropped. Stock market tanked, lost like 2% all in one move off of some fake news. It didn't even happen. I was like, what is going on here right now? Like, I can show you the exact same thing. AMD right here, the exact same thing. News that came out and was reported, stock tanked, dropped below my stop loss, instantly another loss. With those three trades alone, I lost over $600 in one day, in one morning, like before lunch. It was really rough. I did put in one more trade. This was Amazon. It was a bit of a longer play for me. I tried to be patient with this one because of what happened with Nvidia. Didn't want to follow too closely, so I tried to give it space, let it run. But this one was pretty frustrating. I didn't get any action on Monday, nothing happened, ended in the red. Tuesday, it started off pretty well, went down into the red, and then it was going up, up, up. But I decided to hold it overnight, but it wasn't moving as fast as I really wanted it to. And to be honest, I didn't want to take the risk of holding it overnight, so I ended up cashing out right here. And then, of course, the next day, it opened up at my take profit. For this trade, my timing was clearly off. I think I did the right thing, wanting to avoid that risk, because it is a big risk holding a stock overnight, because any information that comes out or anything that happens between 4 p.m. and 9:30 a.m. the next day can have a huge effect on your stock, and your stop losses won't be able to help you. Even though I missed out on this profit, it was still a positive trade. I think I got about $200 from it from right there, which is like a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I can't complain. But yeah, on Tuesday, I also tried a long trade from Microsoft. This was my only trade of the day. I tried to go long. I was following an article that I'd read online. I drew up my trade, expecting the stock to go up to 420. But again, I was a little bit nervous about holding overnight, so I closed this position right here just before the market closed on Tuesday. And then again, I missed out. The stock went up and ended up hitting my take profit. Something that I want to talk about here really quickly. This is one of the several trades this week where I was not patient enough. I did not wait for the stock to hit my targets. I was not giving my stocks space to do what they do. And I just wanted to emphasize how important it is to be patient, because when you're not patient and you close off your trades like this, you miss out on big moves. This trade, I made less than $100. Again, I consider it a loss for myself just because I know better. I should have held and I should have waited. Wednesday was when things finally started going a little bit better for me. I noticed over the course of the week that Nvidia and the semiconductors had been going on quite a run, and they were looking a little bit overheated. The market opened right up here early in the morning. So when I saw that it opened so high, I drew up a quick trade. I wanted to short the stock just because I had a feeling that, it was a little bit overbought and that it needed a little bit of space to cool off. It did not hit my take profit, but I was following with a trailing stop loss because this is Nvidia, and Nvidia is one of those companies that you don't want to short for too long because they could do anything. But yeah, I got out of that trade right here, and I was able to make about $300 from that one. This was a really good trade. I drew out the trade correctly. This is like my standard. This is what I try to go for. I want all of my trades to be able to come out looking like this, but I was able to make up for some of my losses earlier in the week. It was a good short, good execution. I followed all of my rules, and because of that, I was able to walk away with a $300 profit. Not too bad. On Wednesday, I also set myself up with some other trades for later in the week. This is TNA. It's a leveraged ETF that follows the Russell 2000. I saw that it was down pretty big in the morning, and then at around 10:30, I decided to get in. It was down 3%, and my reasoning was that later in the week, when the positive news for the CPI came out on Thursday, that the stock would make a move and I'd be able to make a profit. I got in here, and I held all day on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning right at the open, the news came out at 8:30, and boom, it was out with a profit. I was able to make just over $500 on that trade. That's why, like I said earlier, it's really important that you keep up with current events in the market, because these are the type of opportunities that you want to look for to be able to make money. Another big trade that I set myself up with was Walmart. I got in Wednesday right at the open, knowing that they were going to be reporting earnings the next day on Thursday. I held the stock, waited all day. It was up and down, plus 150, plus 50. But I was patient. I held and I waited. I held it overnight. And then the next morning, Walmart opened up like 8%. They beat their earnings. It was insane. The stock jumped all the way up to here. And then that's where I took my profit. $2,000 off of one trade. Again, I'm not like a guru, I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but when you're paying attention to events in the market, when you're watching and you're seeing how the market is moving, how it's reacting to certain information. I saw on Tuesday that consumers were still buying, the economy was not going into a recession. I had a good feeling that Walmart would do well on their earnings. They have a good history of consistently beating on their earnings, and that's why I took this trade, and I was rewarded for it. Huge play. So that about wraps things up for today. I was going to show you guys some of my picks this week, but some of the games are actually still in progress while I'm recording this video. I'll definitely make sure I show you the results in my next video. For tomorrow, if I can leave you guys with something, check out the CFL. I'm definitely taking the BC Lions to beat Winnipeg tomorrow. So that is my official pick. Good luck, guys. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.